going on, guys? Sebastian here. I'm here with producer extraordinaire Brendan. Took it off.
Um,
I'm just
there
gonna
we
pronounce it
go.
wrong. No, I need to pronounce it differently every time. Uh, this is Listen for Commands. It is Monday, September 23rd. Uh, it looked like the internet blew up this weekend. Um,
Which is
for those
always
of you
fun.
who are living under a rock, let's just pull it up, honestly. And let's just read it from the source. Okay, so a screenshot of a presentation the IPF gave via coaching was circulated. Um, so I'm going to read verbatim what the IPF said. It says, how should a coach treat a female athlete? And these are the different bullet points. The title of the slide was, how should a coach treat a female athlete? The bullet point was, one was be careful with her emotions. Two, give her special motivation. The third bullet point was mostly females have a very high level of responsibility. So don't tell her the accurate plan waits for the training. Four, win her trust. Now, when I saw this circulating, I'm I guess I'm a little more well informed. I immediately was like, oh, that's one hell of a translation. Because I've taken when USAPL left PA, PA started using the IPF referee exam. I never became a certified referee under USAPL. I was just a meet director. I became a certified referee under PA, and they used the IPF test. And so if you read the IPF test, it's clearly not written by someone who speaks English. The questions are all confusing. They're weird. The orders of the words are all messed up. And so obviously, as part of the process, PA is translating that to make it easier to understand. So immediately when I read this, I'm like, oh, it's a literal translation. So when you translate something, um, obviously grammar can be different between languages. Um, and it turned out that it was a bad translation. So I think people immediately were like, what the fuck is this? Blah, blah, blah. IPF sexist. Roar. And so if you read this literally, yes, the IPF is very sexist, and I still haven't actually like tried to translate it to what I'm actually going to do that right now. I'm going to do a live counter translation to see what this might say. So I'm guessing be careful with her emotions is no one would write this, right? No one would write this, and a woman wrote this, by the way, for those who are calling this sexist. And also remember, like, I'm not defending the IPF here because obviously when you need to be cognizant of these things when you're doing anything. But like the first bullet point is be careful with her emotions. No one's writing that. Okay. What they're writing is probably something like be cognizant of their emotions. And so like you should be cognizant of all athletes' emotions, probably. But I think the bigger point was that this was a particular coach's experience with these athletes that they were talking about. And so if someone's talking about their personal experience, if that was their experience, that's all they're articulating to you is that this was their experience. Give her special motivation. I'm guessing that's probably like give them unique motivation. Special and unique were probably the same. Um, I'm guessing they weren't saying mostly females have a very high level response. But I'm guessing this is supposed to be most females are very responsible. Um, and I'm guessing it's not so don't tell her the accurate plan weights or training. So I'm guessing they're talking about females do tend to be more responsible. Newsflash. For someone who's employed men and women, females tend to be more responsible. It's a good thing. Each gender has bad has sometimes has worse traits sometimes, and I think the moral of this entire story is we need to treat everyone as individuals. I think which is where everything's kind of going off the rails. Earn their trust. I think that goes for every athlete. I don't know why it's I guess that's the problem. The problem is it's qualifying it, because men and women are different. They do need to be coached different. But some women have more masculine traits. Some males have more feminine traits. I love, and so it's like, it's you can you should just treat people more like individuals, I think, is the case. And so I'm guessing this whole thing, like, so one of the IPF's things that came down from the International Olympic Committee is that they're not equal enough. They're not doing enough for women, I think, is actually one of the things the IOC said. And then the IOC is just saying things to give powerlifting a reason why they can't be in the Olympics. The reason is money, of course, but I think the IPF is just trying to do more things to make themselves seem more like inclusive to women, and so they're doing something like this. And so it's so sad, because it's like, if you're gonna fail, can you fail doing something big? Like,
Yeah.
if I fail trying to create a professional powerlifting league, oh well. Like, I'm like, oops, like, okay, like, but you're failing like on stupid things, like, uh. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different things to go in this. Okay, is first off, is this the end of the world? Is this what you're melting down over? Yeah, it's bad, but like, first off, the language thing is the first thing. Like, the cultural differences. People, newsflash, people live in different cultures. Okay, and obviously in our American culture, this isn't acceptable. But like, let's take a pause and let's like make sure that like the person that wrote this like isn't from a different culture where like that's what's acceptable. Like, first off, and obviously the IPF should not put this in, like, this should not be gospel for the IPF. The second thing is like, are like, I guess I obviously think we should just treat everyone as individuals, but there are people. I mean, women should do have some differences in like, what if she's pregnant? Like, they're gonna have differences, and like, there are some differences. I know we're in this era where it's, sometimes hard to tell, but like, we're in an era where like, you know there are, sorry, we still live in the real world, and there are differences between men and women. So I don't know how people want to address this, how the IPF. I don't really care how the IPF addresses a coaching course. um some people suggested that the IPF should not be writing a coaching course, and so, guys, I get it. The IPF does dumb stuff, but USA Track and Field certified coaching has been around forever. Like, I'm a USA Track and Field level 1 certified coach. Like, like it's part of these international bodies to develop coaching programs. If you disagree with the program, like, talk to that person. This clearly wasn't even part of the program. It was part of someone's lecture. So there's like multiple things that people are getting wrong about this. And that's the problem. The problem is people are outraged without clarity. And so get the clarity first and then get outraged. Because immediately, like, when I saw this, the first thing I was like, oh, it's a stupid translation. Oh, it's like a bad translation. But then when I start to read it more, I'm like, okay, it still is pretty bad. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it definitely should have come as less of a surprise to everybody. That was the one thing that I thought as soon as I saw it. I was like, well, that's something that they would do, right? But I think that
it's
the
not
thing,
them. It's one individual lecturer. It's not part of the broad.
yeah, that's another thing that
Now,
people
it's the IPF is responsible for, one, doing the bad translation, two, allowing this to go out in the first place. You
exactly.
know what? I should talk. I want to talk to some. I've heard different opinions from. Obviously, there. A lot of women are very outspoken, but I did talk to another woman who's like, I just don't care. Like, just she's funny. She's like, I just want to get paid to lift. And she's really like, she's obviously pro a lot of what I want to do. And so she's like, I just want to make money lifting. Like, I don't want to do this stuff. I'm like, oh, I enjoy it. I think that's my take too. It's like this is really distracting from like people like, fuck it. You know what? It's distracting from real things, right? This isn't like, so obviously there's like real domestic violence in the USAPL. Like there's real sexual assault going on in that Korean Federation. Um, so it's like those are legit things. And so to conflate those issues with something like this is so, like, Article 14 actually impacts women's ability to compete. Like it's just we're spending time on, not, is it an issue? Sure, but we're spending time on the wrong issues. And I would like us to go ahead and say, hey, let's work on this. Let's fix this. And then also be like, hey, but we probably shouldn't spend a ton of time and energy. And I guess we're spending what, one weekend, everyone's gonna forget about it. It's, it's fine. But the IPF did issue a statement regarding it, basically saying that it isn't part of the curriculum. It's someone's opinion and their experience. So I think that's the IPF thought they were going to be able to get away with just saying like, hey, this was someone's experience, so they're just sharing their experience. And obviously, you don't always have to be right. Okay, no, you don't. Sorry, you just say what. Just be a politician. It's a political body. Just tell people what they want to hear. Sorry, we did this. Sorry, we totally didn't mean any offense. Or how about this? Just here. Let's do a fake apology 101. Like, we apologize for anyone who we apologize to anyone who this offended. We're going to immediately review all coaching material, and then just everyone will shut up. Like, you don't actually have to even do anything. Just come on, do better. Just do better. Like, who's so Powerlifting America started the master class of turning the comment. Anytime you make a statement, just turn the comments off. Anytime you make, because then the conversation can't continue. Because the only way the conversation continues is on everyone else's platform. If you leave the comments on, people are basically can use your platform to further their own agendas. I go into I go into all the comments on every live stream, and I'm on the MPG Fitness page, and I start saying stupid stuff, and I start interacting with people. It's just free marketing, man. It's free marketing to my customers. So yeah, the master classes keep the comments turned off when you make statements. That helps a lot. And so they did end up turning the comments off, but it was maybe a little too late. But you just keep them off, because if you keep them off to begin with, then people can't say, "Oh, you shut the comments off."
Right.
All right. But anyway, that's all I have to say on that topic. I think I'd rather us be working on other stuff. I think it actually benefits women more if we work on other stuff. It should still be addressed, but that's it. Moving on to our next topic. So it has been confirmed by Bob Matthews via his comment section that he is not going to be doing Sheffield. I'm going to pull up the exact comment.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised that we're hearing this now, because it's like he liked our post actually when we said something about how lame it was that he didn't get flown out. He liked it. So like how I receive that is I'm like, yeah, he agrees.
Right. Yeah, I didn't take it. I did see that he liked it. I didn't take it that way. So basically, I'm trying to connect all the dots. So here's how it went. So the comment on his YouTube video was, "Yo, bro, so no Sheffield. I heard you're 80-20 not doing it." His reply was, "No Sheffields for me. Being a non-SPD athlete is a major part of." So let's break it down. So this honestly surprises me. So if Bob were like in the bottom like section of the conversation, that would make sense. He's not going to win a lot of money. I'm guessing it's probably like it's a 1 day event, so I'm guessing maybe it's like $5,000 to get out there, like max. Like here, let's fucking plug it in.
Yeah, it is more pricey than you'd think. It's like
Sure. Okay. So we're gonna fly to London the last week of January. Um, let's say he gets there on Monday, leaves the following Monday. Uh, I mean, you can get an American flight, which is pretty nice for 672.
okay.
Let's round everything up. Let's round everything up to 1,000. That includes like the Uber to the hotel and or the Uber to the airport and stuff. And then you're looking at uh 6 hotel nights times probably 150. So you're looking at another G. And then food, you're gonna have to buy food no matter where you are. So that's I'm not even gonna count that as an expense. Let's say another $1,000 in travel. You're looking at about $3,000. So I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you could always just do it the dirty way and just fly the fuck in, compete, and then go back. Now, I have heard that a company is doing, which Bob is affiliated with, is doing their own signature sanction. For those of you who don't know, the signature sanction is so for those of you who pay attention and those of you who actually read, signature sanction is not like the pro series. A signature sanction is just an opportunity for any director to basically run a more official meet with a jury. There are some minimum standards and stuff. So there is a company that's going to be doing one apparently. I was going to do one, but it's just there's no reason. So the problem with the signature sanction is you have to have a jury, which is good. I would want a jury at my events. There's a couple other like you get some other perks, but the problem is that everyone has to use IPF approved equipment, which is fine, but it like it could potentially limit um the athletes that you have, and it's kind of so you have to use IPF platform equipment too, which means you can't use like a TSS combo. Now I have all IPF approved everything, so it's not that big of a deal. But there's no reason for me to spend $500 on a sanction fee when there's really nothing to be gained, and then you have to go through like a political process for it to get approved, and it's pretty much not worth it at this point. Um, but he could be doing that event. Um, so maybe that's part of it. But yeah, I think I mean that's I mean I, I don't know what to say. I mean I talked about it in a group chat quite a bit about him like SBD not paying for their stuff. We talked about it last week. Um, but SBD is a private company. They're putting up, you know, $300,000-$400,000 for an event. They're renting the arena. They're doing all this stuff. They're doing all these things, and so if they go, hey, we don't want this guy here because he's going to rep another brand. That's up to them. I think it's bad. I think like I made this analogy. Everyone who does the Pro Duel trains at a different gym than mine. Like all but like 2 people. I think 2 people were at MPG at the time. I'm not telling just because people work out at other gyms. I know it's different, but just because people go to other gyms doesn't mean I'm not going to invite them to this event I'm running. The event is different than the gym. It's this whole separate business. I believe there was someone who literally lifts at a competitor's gym, a competitor gym to me at the event. I'm not going to be like, yeah, you can't lift at because they're different. They're different business. Like they're different businesses. So and I understand it's a weird landscape for sure. Um, but I don't care. Like I've said before, I don't think Sheffield's a sustainable thing. It's gonna just it's unless it's just part of their marketing budget every year, it's just gonna disappear. It's gonna evaporate. Like we talked about the layoffs with Sheffield, with SBD. Like you're telling me you're gonna fire 50 people, but then you're gonna put 50K up to run an event. Like you can run your business however you want, but like that's just not a great look. Okay. And especially for like a European company too, because in America, we're a lot more cutthroat. But in Europe, for them to be like, yeah, you know what, 50 of you or however many people got laid off, um, you're you're gonna go home and not work, but here we are, la la la, we're gonna run this big event. Like that's just I think that's bad taste. I'm off to predict we got maybe this Sheffield and one more, maybe, unless things change. Maybe the IPF takes it over. I just don't think it's sustainable. You can't run money losing events, and it's not growing. So if it were growing, like I think they could keep going. Maybe it does because I think so. They sold out the arena, and could they move to like a 5,000 seat arena? Sell more tickets, potentially grow the prize pool a little. But the problem is even at 5,000, so 5,000 tickets, well, they could get close. Okay, so if they sold 5,000 tickets at, they would have to raise prices on the tickets. 5,000 tickets times 50 is $250,000. So yeah, I know. I think that's doable. So what they would have to do is they would have to continue either raise prices on the current venue, which I think is smart too. That's what I would really do. You already know you're going to sell it out, so continue. Like the fact that they didn't raise, like who the fuck doesn't raise their prices? Like you sell something out, you got to raise your prices, and like that's the only way the event becomes sustainable. I know you want to be like good for the sport, but you have to grow to be good for the sport. But yeah, very interesting. Um, on that note, what Bobb's going to do, I still think it's a game. I still think he's just trying to get people to like not pay attention and stuff. But it's also his coach won't be there because I think Marcellus went to PA and then he coached at Raw Nationals, so he'll still be he'll have an Article 14 suspension. So his coach won't be there. So it'll be interesting to see what if that contributes to it. Um,
Yeah, whatever his main sponsor is should probably be the one to bite the bullet and get
That's
that
You're
chef.
right. That's also part of it. It's like what is your sponsor paying you to do? Like if your sponsor isn't paying you to go compete on the dude, I'd be wearing a fucking the most obnoxious singlet you've ever seen. I'd be get stoic. I think he's a stoic athlete. I'd be getting
Right.
stoic tattooed, like on my forehead. What are they gonna do? Like I yeah I don't I hate that I like the current I hate the current landscape. Like it's just so bad. It's so like the fact like the things we talk about, the things that are issues, just gross. Like I just want to like I don't like being like I hate being involved in the current situation. The current situation where like you got to jump through all these hoops just to get something done is just insane. Like this, the NFL, this would never happen. This shit would just never happen in another sport. Dana White would never put up with this shit. Dana White would just be cracking fucking heads if this situation happened. Who's the third best fighter? Okay, you got John Jones, you got McGregor. Like McGregor's not good, but I mean, just in terms of viewership,
Right.
like I'm trying to think.
O'Malley, maybe.
What did you say?
O'Malley, maybe.
Yeah, right. Okay, so like O'Malley can't go to the fight because the one of the sponsors, Bud Light, is not going to pay for his flight. Dana just takes that out of his pocket. Like I know they're different sports, but like we need to start broadening our fucking horizons.
Right.
It's just it's so gross. I like, and that's what we're talking. I guess that's what we're talking about. It's a current event. But yeah, I mean, this is this whole thing. Like, this has been a bad week for the IPF news wise,
Hmm.
and I I don't know what it's going to take for. I, there's never really going to be change in the IPF. The IPF is a political organization. They're a they're designed to promote international competition. It's a collection of international actors. So it's for people to expect greatness out of that is just crazy. Like, you're not going to get that. So stop asking for it. I'm curious. Like, I'm curious to see what it would take for. I mean, I guess if Sheffield went away, that would be it. Like, that would be the like that. But I I have this discussion with people a lot. They're like, no, no, no. It's people aren't in the IPF because of Sheffield. They're in the IPF because they want to compete internationally. I'm like, what are you talking about? No one wants to fly 20 hours to lift 9 times. The only reason they go to Worlds is because they want to go to Sheffield. Like, Worlds is cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's an important part of the future of powerlifting, but it's going to be a very small. It's going to be like it's really more about the Olympics than anything.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah, I'm I'm pretty pissed about the whole because I'm not pissed about the document. I don't care about the document. I'm pissed about like the fact that you're not doing anything relevant to make the document not news. Like, you're not doing enough other things to make me go like, I don't care about this document. Like, people are ready to abandon ship on the IPF, and so, and for good reason. But like, the only thing that's keeping people down is this like Sheffield thing. Um, so hopefully, either. I mean, I don't think the IPF is going to figure things out. I think Sheffield's like a temporary thing. Um, I've heard Rogue is going to do some stuff at the Arnold. I'm guessing that's not going to be with um, USAPL or the IPF.
Hmm.
Um, so we'll see kind of what happens. But like, I'm like, I really just don't care. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, hopefully there's some solutions and stuff um coming up. But I don't I've been perturbed by this whole situation. Just because there's nothing going on. Like, there's no future. I don't see a future plan. I don't see anything um going on with
So
that.
let's assume that Sheffield isn't well, it's not sustainable, but let's assume that it being unsustainable comes into fruition and we can't do it the year after next or whatnot. So what steps up and what takes its place as the like Super Bowl of powerlifting?
I want to say Abs has the
Mhm.
potential to do some stuff.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, my stuff um could, like I've talked, like I just I've given people the blueprint for what powerlifting needs to look like, right? It doesn't have to be what I'm doing, right? I think what I'm doing is cool, but it doesn't have to be. The blueprint for the future of powerlifting is to get more people to watch. To get more people to watch, you either need to market your events better, or you need to do more events, right? Because that will increase the cumulative number of views. And so either way, athletes are going to have to compete more frequently. So really, the only thing you can do is reformat the sport to get people to compete more frequently. If you just keep doing the same thing where it's a new event with a bigger prize pool in a bigger, like in a slightly bigger arena, like that's basically it. Now, I do think there's a path forward for like Sheffield continuing to get bigger and bigger and bigger, but the fact that it hasn't already
Mm,
is kind of like should be concerning.
right.
Um, But again, they sold out so like I'm one to advocate that powerlifting really isn't growing. Like the metrics really don't say that. But one metric that does tell me that powerlifting is growing is that they did Sheffield, they sold all these tickets, or they didn't sell out the first one, right? And then the second one they sold out, and then the next one they sold out even faster. So what that tells me is next year I'm raising prices, right? I'm either moving to a bigger venue or I'm raising prices. And so that is a metric of growth. I'm fine with that. But like I said, again, it's still not enough to cover the prize pool. But might mean less money out of SBD's pocket. They can continue to run this event. There's definitely a path forward for it. It's just it still doesn't matter because it's one event. Ooh, like even if you sell the TV rights for some money, like you're still not gonna have enough. So we'll see. I don't know. We got 7 months to lock it, or September, October, November, December, January. 5 months to lock in. See what the landscape is, and we'll go from there, I guess. But that's kind of all I have to. I mean, we touched on the thing. We touched on the other thing.
Both the things.
Yes, both the things. That's kind of all I really wanted to talk about. I think we might have a guest on Thursday. All right. I think that's all for today. This was Listen for Commands. Short and sweet. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Brendan.
We'll see you Thursday.
Peace out, guys.